Hello all, it's me, Souls. We're going to go ahead and spend a little time today. I know this video is kind of out of order, but we're going to go through the notes on the latest patch and apparently the updated patch that was just released today as well for RogueTech. Now, I should put a disclaimer in here stating that these opinions in this video are, of course, my own opinions. They don't reflect either side of any argument whatsoever out there. This is just me reading what's there and interpreting how I see these things. I've spent maybe an hour in the new patch. That's really about it. So my experiences may not be your experiences, so on and so forth. Take what I say with a grain of salt. And by all means, please let me know in the comments below what you think or what you are experiencing on this updated patch. So we might as well go ahead and talk a little bit. I'll skip over the updated patch here. Let's go directly into Course Correct 1.2.0, which was released on the 2nd of June 2025. New content! So, after generously being granted some creative freedom by its authors, a large part of the content of the Aries Initiative fan, TRO, one of those mill-made out there, has been adapted and added as a new optional model for RogueTech. The Aries Initiative is based on the what-if scenario of a new invasion initiated by the remaining homeworld clans, taking place just as the era changes from the Dark Age to Ill Clan. It introduces many new mechs and vehicle designs. All imagine what the homeworld clans might have access to and used in lore. Of course, we got a big thank you here and a link to check out if you wanted to. New mechs. There is a bunch. A whole bunch of new mechs ranging anywhere from, I think, from 100 ton all the way down to 20. I don't think there's anything less than that. So interesting. I have not yet actually activated the module in our current playthrough, so I can't say one way or the other, so I haven't really experienced any of these things. Just saying right now. There's also some new vehicles being added. New equipment and affinities. Aries Initiative, obviously, is going to be specific for all those machines from Aries Initiative. Chassis affinity, you got FCS Aries, Clan Advanced FCS. So there's your accuracy bonus sliding in. Would also not apply to artillery attacks. So that's actually very interesting. It does reduce OP accuracy by -1. Ooh. Interesting. And of course, you have your specific sensor set. About the same. 5% sensor range, vision range. Does enable night vision, so that's kind of nice. And there's also a 3151 map that has been added. An offline version of the current RTO map. As well as new factions. There's a lot of new stuff in here. We haven't had a chance to go through it and really take a look at it. So we're just going to touch, again, just showing very briefly what's on here. If you want to pause at any given time just to have a look, you can. This is a lot of stuff. And not really what I'm going to be talking about today. But it is nice to see more things being added to the game. Now, whether or not we do actually activate this module is going to be up in the air, because I don't know if this is going to break anything if we do. And yes, there is a lot of stuff coming in here. So let's get right back out of this all the way to the top. And of course, there's a new map, Airfield, which is looking pretty neat. You know, they got nice models on the map. And you know, we've been talking about wanting new maps for quite some time. So it's really neat to see these custom maps slowly starting to get filtered in. Again, just like K-Mission, there's not really a whole lot of cover on this map. There's a little bit more than K-Mission, so take it as you will. But as you can see, it's an airfield. Airfields are usually wide open spaces. That's to be expected. Now, on to what we really want to talk about. So some of the changes for 1.2.0. So we'll start with the fixes. Fixed status effects with stacked limits, sometimes not working as expected due to a mix of negative and positive stats. That's fair enough. Sometimes the math don't math, so if you got to fix it, you got to fix it. Fix for global contracts not working as intended in some situations in RTO. Disabled selling of equipment from the Mech Lab view due to buggy behavior. Updated RogueTech 2C, fixing issues with strange behavior that occurred when an event triggered a mission on the same day as a W2C, as well as a conflict with training missions where a flare-up or extended contract could get stuck if a training mission was selected. As well, updated more tooltips and information text from the term clustering to the term grouping. That's good. I'll take that. Having a better definition between the two is always a good thing. For combats, for VTOLs, changed area of effect damage taken multiplier from times 1.0 to times 1.2. Area of effect damage taken range multiplier has been changed from 2.0 to 1.2. So for what I get from this is AoEs are going to be hitting a little harder on your VTOLs. However, the AoE has been reduced. So we've seen a couple of instances of that so far in this season. Pretty much when arrows get thrown around or artillery blasts go off, sometimes there's a VTOL that's just a little bit too close and she kind of gets burned pretty bad. So damage is up, but the affected range is down. Events. Bearing event chain. Fixed the issue of not adding the mech warrior bearing to the barracks in some situations. Oh, that would be a rough one. And added a new fallback event to safeguard situations where the contract will not appear in the command center correctly. As for MiG, who we do actually happen to have in our Lance, added new fallback events to safeguard for situations where the normal event will not trigger correctly. So that's good. As for the maps, 3075 added new starts for Clan Cloud Cobra, Clan Coyote, Clan Star Rider. Looks like a whole bunch of new starts, updated starting lists. Cool. Rim territories added many more units to the contract pool. Added more units to the contract pool for all pirate and bandit factions. And fixed issues with factions not active on the selected map, sometimes bleeding through its flashpoints. Alright. As for other, persistence affinity, guts bonus now follows the standard stack limit of 2. Pity of the Fool quirk. Initiative bonus can now exceed standard stack limit. Okay. And self-repair is fixed for incorrectly allowing Hardgel 3 to be used. As well, increased amount of available stock items in stores for many battle armor weapons and ammunition boxes to 5. It usually was either 1 or 3. And we've run into that one a couple times ourselves, where there is like 3 of one piece of gear and you'll never see it again for like weeks. So that's nice to see that you can actually outfit an entire group of battle armor. On to ammunition changes for ATMs. Change damage from -5 or from is it -5 to -3? I don't know if maybe that might be an accidental use there. I'm going to say 3 to 5 to 2 to 5. So a wider change in damage variance. Same thing with HE. 3 to 5 has been changed down to 2 to 5. IATM EMP medium range has been changed to 120, max range to 180, and short range to 60. Medium range to 120 and long range to 180. IATM ERs changed damage from 4 to 6 to 1.7 to 1.7. And damage multiplier has been set to 0.5. IATM EMP also had its damage significantly nerfed and went from 4 to 6 down to 1.6. The damage multiplier is set to 1.5. Yeah, I'm not, again, I'm not on the one side doing balance for everything, but I don't like to see these kind of nerfs. But at the same time, too, some others have been boosted. I don't know. It's, again, my personal opinion on this one is wildly different from a lot of other people, and that's perfectly fine. LBX. 10 cluster. Damage has changed from 20 to 17. And the damage multiplier from 0.6 to 0.66. 20 cluster. Damage changed from 40 to 34. And damage multiplier has been changed to the same. LBX2 cluster. Change damage from 4 to 4 to 5 to 13. All right, much wider range of damage there. However, the damage multiplier has been reduced from 0.6 to 0.5. Dragon's Breath, we actually haven't had a chance to play with that yet. Change projectiles per shot from 1 to 2 and heat damage from 4 to 6. I hope the ammunition boxes have been adjusted for that one. That's going to be rough. Because now you're using twice as much ammunition. LBX2 Splatter. Change projectiles per shot from 1 to 2. LBX5 Cluster. Damage multiplier from 0.6 to 0.5. And the damage from a flat 10 to 0 to 20. Ouch. LBX5 Dragon's Breath. Change projectiles per shot from 4 to 5. And heat damage from 10 to 12. And LBX Splatter, projectiles per shot from 4 to 5. Personally, that damage variation for the 5 cluster, oof. You have the chance of doing exactly 0 damage. That's painful. It's an extreme chance, to be sure, but there is that chance now. Mortar Guided has changed the direct fire accuracy from +1 to +2. That's a positive. I'll take that. And for Proto-Mechs, IATM EMP changed heat generator from 1.1 to 1.05. Walk speed has been increased from, was that -10 to -5%? And removed the negative accuracy penalty. Cool. Cool. Next up, we have our armor and structure for equipment. For glazed, change in stability taken from changes from ×2 to 1.5. Oh, sorry, from charges, not changes. Charges from 0.2. Wow, Soul. You've had quite the day today, and you decided to come home and record this video. Okay. Instability taken from charges from ×2 to 1.5. Instability taken from kicks from ×2 to 1.5. Instability taken from DFA has been changed from ×2 to 1.5. Punches, ×2 to 1.5. AoE damage taken multiplied to self has been changed from +1 to 0.5. Damage taken from kicks changed from ×2 to 1.5. Same with the damage from charges. Instability taken from punches, again, reduced to 1.5. Damage taken from physical weapons has been reduced from ×2 to 1.5. AP critical chance to self has been changed from 33% to 25%. Damage taken from DFA down to 1.5. Instability taken from physical weapons reduced to 1.5. Change the dynamic reserve slots from 10 to 5. So you get a little bit more room in your machine. Change allowed locations from all to center torso. Ooh. That's a little rough. All 5 slots need to go in the center torso now? Ooh. Let's also remove the effects. AP damage taken from multiplier to self of 1.2. As for reflective coating, AP critical chance to self has been reduced down to 25% from 33%. And it looks like the changes we talked about above, all from like instability from charges, DFA, kicks, physical weapons, all reduced down to around 1.5 as well. I think this is all the changes pretty much on the exact same level as the glazed by the looks of it. Aside from the fact that the glaze requires 5 slots in the center torso now. I'll have to have a look at that in the next time we fire up BattleTech. I know we do have a set of glazed, so that'd be interesting to see how that's going to jam in there. I think it's probably going to take up all the slots, and then you can't put in dreadnoughts or switch out your gyros at all. But then again, most of our lance is Omni, so it's not really a big thing. Mech Squads, what do we got here? Oh, cost. Cost has been changed. Okay. Eee. So cockpit squad size 2. That's about 50,000 C-bills more. Size 4 has been increased by 100,000. Cockpit clan changed the cost to increased it to 50,000. The gunnery skill was reduced from +2 to 1. Also added the effect piloting skill with a value of +1. So you lose a little bit of gunnery, but you get some piloting back in exchange. And that's all cost changes. What do we have for other? Ammo, LAA, missile ×2 for bays, renamed to Ammo, LAA, missile ×4 bay. A little extra LAAs in there. Artemis 4. The LRM mode, bonus damage changed from +1 to 0.2. However, the damage variance has been reduced from -1 to -0.2. And same thing with SRM mode. Bonus damage has been reduced from 2 to 0.4. And the damage variance again changed from -2 to -0.4. That's a... I don't know how I feel on that one. Like, I know just from playing that they did increase the overall damage of the missiles, at least for the LRMs. I never did check the SRMs. So, kind of offsets it that way. Take it, leave it, I guess. Artemis 5. Bonus damage for LRMs has been changed from 1.5 to 0.7. Well, that's not as big of a kick in the teeth as what the 4 was. Yeah, because on the 4, you're going from 1 to 0.2 damage, bonus damage. Artemis 5 has just been reduced by half, both the damage and the damage variance. SRM, bonus damage changed from +3 to +1.4. Again, cut pretty much in half. And of course, we have the new FCS Aries. Again, part of the Aries Initiative module, so that has to be active in order for you to see that. Improved communication sensors. Changed tactic skill from +2 to +1. And again, sensors Aries. Must have that module active to even start seeing stuff like that. I am not too sure how I feel about this one. Like I said, I know the LRMs, at least from what I've seen, they're doing more damage. But then the question comes down to whether or not the inclusion of an Artemis, at least an Artemis 4, is even worth the tonnage anymore. Other thoughts to think about. Obviously, by playing it and actually feeling the difference and seeing how this is going to shake out is going to be by far the best thing you can do for it. So again, if you have experience with LRM boats and you have a little bit of a better working idea than I have on how Artemis has changed, or how the changes affect your current setup, by all means, throw comments down below. Love to hear from you. And vehicles. Coolant, change AP critical chance to self from 100% to 50%. Okay. And the jet booster. So this is something I did see before we recorded today's video. Yes, yesterday. The jet booster has changed from critical hit to component of failure to straight up hurting the pilot. Which is always what we want. You know, why not? Pilots are hard enough to get trained up as is. Let's put some more injury chance on them. So that's why I mentioned in today's video for BattleTech on why it's so bloody important we keep an eye on that jet booster for moving forward. As for units, some variations added in, resizing. New units added. There's a lot here. Again, I'm just going to slowly scroll down. Everybody can have a look. We've got some new models, so we're going to be having a look at everything that pops up moving forward, just to see what the changes are. Yeah, I got that. Mech Squads. Celerity has changed icon, changed to a custom model. Ostromech, brand new, part of the Aries Initiative. Slowpoke was changed to a custom model. And the Var Hunter, also part of the Aries Initiative. So 2 of these we have not seen at all. And vehicles that used mech engines previously, such as fuel cells or ice, now have a proper vehicle type engine. This is mainly cosmetic to adjust some tooltips and descriptions. Okay. Again, this is pretty much all Aries Initiative, except for the Ontos Mark V. Change quirk from accurate weapon laser to accurate weapon Gauss. So for those who are running Ontos, you might have to do a rebuild. Just saying. Now on to the weapons. Oh god, this is, yeah. This is a lot of stuff. Mostly from what I can see, just glancing at it, is that damage was buffed. Damage was buffed and recoil was nerfed. So that's good. That is very, very good. I will happily take that. Now, is it enough to actually make things viable again? Eh. That's a good question. Mortars are doing something funky here. A Mortar 2C had its damage changed from 2 to 12 to 6 to 12. And all the other clan version of the mortars have reduced, like, don't come anywhere near that 6 to 12. LBXs have all been increased by about 5 points. Proto's had their range adjusted. It looks like just their max range got boosted. Just as a side note, if you're running mortars, your Mortar 2s are going to be your better options because they out-damage everything you have. Because everything above the 2 is 4 to 12 versus the 2 6 to 12. Granted, I'm going to say this with a little bit of salt here, or a little bit of salt. There's always salt here. Just a pinch of salt here when it comes down to what I'm talking about. Obviously, the Mortar 2s They only fire 2 rounds. The 4 fires 4 rounds. The 6 fires 6 rounds. And the 8 fires 8 rounds. So if you hit, overall, you're going to do more damage with the 4s and the 6s and the 8s than what you are with the 2s. But you can pack more 2s into a machine than you can the 4s, 6s, or 8. So you're gonna have to find that sweet spot. Find what you can put into the machine for damage versus chances to hit. Seeing so, like, I don't think anything has changed here for the mortars. Overall, for their chance to hit, I haven't seen anything about that one. So I think that's still running the exact same. Battle armor. Yeah, your changes have also been updated as well. Slightly more damage for your missiles. As you can see, there is a lot of updates for battle armor, which is good. I don't run a whole lot, but that's okay. ERPPCs, change evasion pips ignored from 1 to 2. Nice. Experimental ion cannon, fixed for not being able to mount it correctly in the mech lab. Change cost from 0 to 1.12 million Z-bills. Enjoy. Like Razor large, change the AP critical chance multiplier from 0.05 to 0.2. And critical chance multiplier from 1 to 1.3334. They're small numbers, but that's a big change for those who've been running Razors already. A heavy plasma cannon, change heat damage from 18 to 32. So, okay, that thing's very, very warm. As for the ATMs, oh, ATMs, poor ELRMs. Well, the ELRMs actually got a boost. Went from 1 to 5 to 1.6 to 5, so slight increase in damage. And instability damage also a slight increase. The ATMs themselves, you got a nerf. Damage reduced from 6 to 10 to 4 to 10 for all of them. And instability damage reduced as well. Heavy MRMs got a damage boost, slight. Went from 2 to 2.6. And your instability damage increased by 0.06. LRMs. I think everybody got a boost in damage and instability by the looks of it. Not a big one, but it does stack up. Like I said, the LRM 15 we looked at, I think the damage went from 40 to 49.5. So, you know, take it as you will. So nothing changes about the hit chance, but I will be grumpy about that on my own time. Now, MML seem to have gotten a little bit of a damage boost as well. Although the firing mode seemed to have been switched. MML 3 changed damage while firing LRMs from 1 to 5 to 1.6 to 5. And same thing with SRMs. 2 to 10 has been increased to 3.2 to 10. Same with the 3. So MML 3 and MML 5 have the same boosts. The 7 and 9 had their overall damage with firing LRMs and SRM. Nope. Damage with firing LRMs, sorry. Reduced from 1 to 7 to 0.4 to 7. Oh, it's just a 7. It is just a 7. Yeah. 1 to 7 damage. It's been reduced to 0.4 to 7. And the MML 9 actually got a damage boost when firing LRMs. What a strange thing to change. Everybody else gets a boost, but the MML7 gets a nerf. As SRMs have been boosted slightly. Instead of 0 to 12, you can do 1.2 to 12. Interesting. I'm seeing, yeah, damage increases for the MRMs as well. Not much, just 0.6. You get down to the NLRMs. Damage has been reduced from 3 to 7 to 2.4 to 7. And instability damage also reduced from 1 to 0.94. No longer allows firing of LRM ER ammunition. SRM seem to have gotten quite the boost. Ish. Again, balance, I guess. SRM2 Clan had its boost from 2 to 10 to 5 to 10, and the SRM6 again is 2 to 10 to 3.2 to 10. I really don't know what to think about that. I understand it's going to be a balance issue. Again, you have 2 missiles versus 6 missiles getting fired here, so... yeah. Again, the 2's got the biggest boost. The 4s and the 6s did not. In fact, the pirate version seems to have gotten a damage reduction. 6 to 16 down to 5 to 15. Well, that's an interesting one. The pirate versions had their max armor thickness for AP to hit changed from 50 to 150. Or 55 to 150. Back to the argument about armor being a suggestion. Yeah. As for the IATMs, what do we have? A remove grouping modifier with a value of +2. Updated firing mode, indirect. Change damage from 6 to 10 to 3.2 to 10. Oh, and that looks like it's all of the IATMs. Now for streak, change damage from 10 to 8.5 to 11.5. It's a grouping modifier to +2. Okay. So again, you want to run streak on everything you can. Sounds about right. As for the special handhelds, well, Avenger Rifle damage was increased from 25 to 30. Remove the recoil of 1. All the firing modes had their recoils changed. Yeah, firing a max is going to have you sitting on a recoil of 8. Good to keep in mind. All right, so before we get on to the new patch, let's talk a little bit about what I was talking about in the video today, because that would be today thing. Yes, I had mentioned that there were some changes to accuracy based on movement that I was not aware of. This is because I did not read the notes for 1.1.2, which would also explain why after that update was done, I thought I was going crazy, but I never really said anything. Things are a little bit harder to hit. And this is the reason as to why. So this is a throwback section to 1.1.2 that I completely missed. And I mentioned seeing something about it in today's video. This is from that change. So we've actually been running just fine with these changes. Clearly, they're not really hampering us too hard. or at least not in the way that I'm thinking. Mind you, it could also be that I'm sitting there going, oh, I'm always saying we need to use tags in order to increase our accuracy. This could be why. So the chance to hit curve has been tweaked. And again, this is old news. This was from back in 5 and 11. So this is last month, a couple of weeks ago, I guess. But base and maximum accuracy are higher. Range of movement penalties to accuracy are higher. It's almost a wash. Okay. But weapon range brackets matter more, so does moving versus standing still. So base chance to hit increased from 81% to 85.6 at Gunnery 1. Gunnery skill hit chance to hit bonus per level increased from plus 1% to 1.6. Again, you get a total of 100% at skill 10, up from 90%. Tooltips were rewritten to be more clear. The chance to hit modifier when targeting turrets is now always plus 4. I remember seeing that. I never did read the rest of it, so it's entirely on me for being the bearer of old news, but I figured I better add it to this video, just that way everyone understands where I got that information from and why it might be old news. But the tables below do show the differences made to movement and range modifiers. So you have your range modifier here, your old ones and your new ones. So at minimum, you were sitting at a -8 chance to hit. That hasn't changed. Short is still 0. Medium has gone from -2 to -3. Long has gone from -4 to -6. And extreme has gone from -6 to -9. And of course, movements, the additional modifiers on that one. And I completely misread this because there is no difference between walking and sprinting now. I was 100% incorrect on that information I was talking about in today's video. You might as well sprint everywhere you go. The old modifier was -1, sprinting was -1, and jumping was -2. These have changed. Now it's walking and sprint at -2, and jump at -3. So, yeah. Slow is not fast. You need to be fast, apparently. And that's 100% on me. All right. So now that we know where I got that information and why I was so confused and why some people had not seen it yet, which is also the reason why we wanted to cover it in today's video. Because what I was talking about was information that either people already knew and forgot or actually missed themselves. So, just as a heads up, I was incorrect in the video. Running is what you want to do every chance you get, because there's no difference between walking and running. Obviously, if you don't move, you don't suffer that -2 to shoot. So standing still an option. But if you have to choose between walking and sprinting, you might as well sprint. And it looked like it was always the same anyways, just now it's worse. And same with the ranges. So if you got to sprint, you might as well sprint down into that short or medium range. Whatever gives you the best bonus. Okay, on to the updated patch. And yes, another update did come in while we were sitting here talking. For course correct 1.2.1. There was a fix for not being able to gain reputation with many factions in the new 3151 map. There was also a fix for the Airfield map not showing all assets. Fix for issue with salvage. I'm not too sure what they're talking about there. I'll have to go ahead and run through the Discord and have a look, see what they're talking about, if that is available. Obviously, it's fixed now. Change battle armor accuracy penalty when fired from fire reports to be based on a range bracket. Note, values are on top of the standard accuracy range bracket penalties. So on top of the standard range penalties, which we talked about. The old accuracy for minimum is -4. That hasn't changed. Short has gone from -4 to -5. Medium, -4 to -6. Long from -4 to -9. And extreme from -4 to -12. Good luck those who run APCs or run vehicles with firing ports and battle armor. That is rough. You're going to have to be pretty much up everybody's tailpipe if you want to get anywhere close to being accurate. Because keep in mind, these are on top of those range bracket differences we talked about. Enjoy. I I don't currently run battle armor, so I'm not really going to be crying too much over that. Doom on 2 legs. Mech Warrior Quirk has been a corrected tooltip. Affinity bonuses for assault mechs, not heavy. Walking Apocalypse, Mech Warrior Quirk. Again, bonus for assault, not heavy. Aries Initiative. Been added MiG rehire events. Corrected some text on the event. Okay. Aries FCS. Pirate FCS. Removed evasion ignore bonus of +1. Replaced weapon heat generated penalty of 10% with heat generated per turn of +12. Oh, ouch. Ow. Whoa. Ow. It's went from +10 penalty, 10% penalty, to just a flat +12. Ouch. FCS missile accuracy. Fixed grouping modifier to only have effect on missile weapons as intended. AC-10 quick sell. Surprise, surprise. Quick sell has been turned to trash. And by trash, I mean lovingly. It has its damage reduced. Quick sell has always been trash. I don't care who you are. So Mech, fix the icon, resize the following mech models: Blade, Thunderbolt, Jaeger Mech, and Roughneck. Those have all been resized. Cool. And switch model on the following mechs. Predator has been changed to the Roughneck model, and Predator 2 has also been changed to the Roughneck model. Okay. And 1.2.1.1, which came in while we were sitting here making the video, is a hotfix for the FCS Pirate. I don't know if that was... I haven't checked the Discord again. I don't know if they just changed that to 12% instead of it being a flat 12. Potentially. What say you, Discord? It's just a hotfix for FCS Pirate. That's what it says. Yep. And yeah, I guess that is it. So things to cover that were updated. All that information, again, is directly off the wiki page. I'm not making stuff up like I did in the video. Mind you, again, it's my fault. I clicked the wrong button, scrolled down to the wrong part of the page while reading stuff. And I saw stuff from a previous patch that should have been well known, but I didn't know it, and I thought it was part of the new one. So that is where the slow is fast came from. In reality, it's screw it, run, and get within your short or mediums as quickly as you possibly can, because anything else is just going to be a very punishing. Oh God, it's so bad. It's just gonna hurt. It's just painful. It is just painful. Again, disclaimer, my own personal opinion. Where I was incorrect, I will gladly stand up and say I was wrong, and I was wrong about the movement modifiers. Those were old patch. Like I said, I maybe had an inkling that something was wrong when we started hitting a little bit less and started having accuracy issues, and that's why I started going for more tags. But that's 100% on me. And that was the correct way to solve it, was getting more tags to increase your accuracy chance. So, whoops. I will take the L on that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time we have to have for today's video. By all means, please put your comments down into the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're experiencing. Let me know if I got something wrong. Again, like I said, if I am wrong, I will gladly say that I am incorrect. There's no shame in that. If I open my mouth and I'm wrong, I will stand here and say that I was wrong, and therefore this is now the correct information. That's all there is to it. But I'd love to hear what you guys are experiencing. By all means, please put your information down below. In the meantime, though, stay safe, enjoy the game, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, all.
I'm inbound on your side. starboard. 7 high 10. Eat this, toaster. Target acquisition is screwed. Give me manual controls now.